Welcome to another reaction video. In this one we are going to be reacting to 10 things WWE wants you to forget about NXT. This was uploaded earlier today by What Culture Wrestling. So let's get right into this one.
NXT with its resident crowd is enthusiastic appointed head, rich promotional work rate and character over a template Adonis body type in its position, right on the cross-section of Indian mainstream. NXT was basically ECW but dressing up nice for its core days. It's gone through an oft-remarked-upon dip in the last year, but it cannot be overstated just how much of a phenomenon NXT was, and in some ways still is. It single-handedly redeemed Big Soup, Big Paul as a backstage figure, and for a run of just under 2 years, outpaced, outclassed, and generally out-wrestled the rest of the company on a weekly basis. But as the saying goes, the future is now, which in this case translates to please, pretty please, forget about some of the stuff in our past. Now, if you want to read a fantastic, warts and all, in-depth look at NXT and its rise, check out Development Hell, the NXT story written by What Culture's own Michael Sidgwick, available at shop.whatculture.com. However, if you want top 10 list lols, I'm Plumpy from whatculture.com, and here are 10 things WWE want you to forget about NXT. Number 10, not everyone graduates. So let's say your favorite wrestler, Flippy Dick, just got signed to NXT. Oh boy, you start to think he's going to mix it up in developmental for a year. Then, oh, cheese and crumpets, I get to see all sorts of dream matches. Maybe Flippy Dick versus Seth Rollins. Maybe Flippy Dick versus AJ Styles. I sure hope that Flippy Dick isn't sidelined with a painfully written I like video games and dabbing gimmick. Flippy Dick versus Brock Lesnar. And then, despite NXT being all but a guaranteed seat at the table, he's suddenly cut from the brand. See, despite its rep, NXT isn't a guarantee of success or even being well handled. Just look at CJ Parker, Bull Dempsey, Chris Hero's first run. Solomon Crowe came in with all the momentum in the world, and he was gone from TV in less than a year. And that's if you even make it to TV proper, with widely publicized new recruits like Hugo Knox and Tough Enough Trio Sarah Lee, Josh Bredl and ZZ being trimmed before they even got a sniff at the cameras. Number 9, the Authors of Pain botch. One of the main issues with NXT, and a point that we'll get a bit deeper into later, like your mum, is that it has a paradoxical reputation as a developmental brand that also happens to feature the best wrestling in the world. Which means that sometimes wrestlers who are still greener than Kermit the Frog and the Hulk f***ing in a tub of pea soup are put out there and expected to pull off devastating spots. Case in point, the Authors of Pain, who we can all agree are, yeah, they're pretty good now. But at the tail end of 2016, they were both greenhorns but pushed as monster heels. So they do things like run into people as fast as they could, faithfully powerbomb dudes on other dudes, which led to a horrific botch when Akam bombed John Ortegan right onto Anthony Bowen's head, giving him a hell of a concussion and forcing the match to be prematurely stopped. It's a terrifying one that could have ended much, much worse. Number 8, NXT Arrival suffered a technical meltdown. I mean, fair enough. What Culture shouldn't exactly be ragging on other wrestling companies for suffering the occasional technical snafu with their live shows, although I would say that WWE have been in the broadcasting game a smidge longer than us. Anyway, point is, in the earlier days of the service, the WWE Network buffered more than the shoeshine boy with OCD, and once in a while completely dropped a live broadcast. Unfortunately, such was the case during NXT Arrival, the first ever live NXT special, as is the case what later became the TakeOver series of events. Arrival was a fantastic night of wrestling, capped off with then called Adrian Neville winning the NXT Championship. Unfortunately, fans missed much of that main event as the stream dropped during the previous match. Pretty much all the takeovers have been good to great, but you never forget your first, except the stuff you don't get to see. Number 7, it used to be a reality show, and not just any reality show, a fucking awful reality show. It's almost inconceivable now that the NXT brand managed to achieve the credibility it did, considering the utter dreck that came before it. It was a credibility 180.
Bobby Roode.
Thought he'd ever go and do Batman.
Batman.
The show used to be essentially a
Tough enough.
Tough enough for all the dignities.
Oh, the original NXT was so horrible.
Vicious Cox in production had the NXT rookies on season 1 doing, carrying kegs around the ring to see who could do it the fastest, playing rock and sock'em rookies and improvising 30-second promos on topics like rainbows, flowers, and cereal while a confused audience booed. That show was called NXT. The show that featured Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Zayn, Owens, Balor, McIntyre. That show is also somehow called NXT. Bizarre. Number 6, Caitlyn versus Maxine. Just the worst match ever. Back when NXT was a reality show that mixed up humiliating challenges and often heatless matches, two young prospects, Caitlyn, who went on to be Divas champion, and Maxine, who went on to become Katrina in Lucha Underground, had a wrestling match that best resembled two scarecrows falling down a hill. not
Two
only
scarecrows falling down a hill.
mayor of Box City, but the match featured running commentary on microphones live by Alicia Fox and Vicky Guerrero, and lo, the heavens fell. The match is so difficult to watch that Michael Cole actually walked away and took a phone call during the match. That's how much of a car crash it was. The match would have been a stain on any promotion, never mind one that would later produce TakeOver Dallas. Number 5, the Pervert Photo Man. Oh
The
boy,
Pervert
so
Photo Man?
NXT has seen its fair share of reprehensible people working for it over the years, but this man puts the perv into Performance Center. Matt Whitlinsky, who is from all accounts a fantastic strength coach but a bad creep, was revealed as having perpetuated numerous acts of sexual harassment against the female trainees at the Performance Center, including taking constant photos of ladies' bums while they train, which he'd upload to Instagram, rewarding good hustle with a slap to the arse, and generally behaving, as one of his trainees tweeted about him, like a sexual predator. An investigation was conducted about a series of sexual harassment claims, but no wrongdoing was found, although all the Instagram photos were deleted about the same time as the investigation, which is quite the coinky-dink. Number 4, Bo Dallas, NXT Champion. Now this is an admittedly harsh entry because, you know what, go back and watch Bo Dallas's title run, it's all there on the network, and it's f***ing great. His character, while he may have been initially intended to be a white meat babyface, became genuinely one of the best, most entertaining heels in modern wrestling. He was such a goddamn dork. Shut up, Bo! However, considering the body of his work since leaving, which isn't all his fault, it makes him something of an odd man out when you consider all the other NXT champions were Seth Rollins, Big E, Neville, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Roode. One of these things is not like the others, which brings us to a bigger point. Number 3, NXT megastars becoming main roster cannon fodder. Now this is just sad when it happens. NXT is so close to the main roster, but sometimes they feel like they're on completely different
Yeah, when they
sides.
get caught up and they just get destroyed.
Hardcore crowd who tend to embrace
Sami Zayn's not doing so well since being called up yet either.
Very often these gimmicks die on their arse in front of huge mainstream crowds. While it's absolutely true that
Strowman.
NXT has produced some utter megastars in the last few
Wyatt.
years, and Mojo Rawley, it's
Mojo.
produced a depressing amount of jobbers. Bo Dallas, the Vaudevillains, Lucha Dragons, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze are only now starting to be used properly, but the saddest is the Ascension, who went from fearlessly dominant, long-reigning tag champs to being spanked by the APA in a matter of months.
Yeah.
Number 2, the format hurts new talent. The thing that people may not want to admit about NXT is that for what it was originally intended to be, a proving ground to nurture homegrown talent, it's ironically somewhat the opposite. Ever since NXT started signing and showcasing the cream of the global independent
Big demo.
scene, it's created something of a 2-level hierarchy within the brand. The homegrown guys who are relatively starting from scratch, and the indie darlings who rule the roost. Now this system is certainly advantageous to ticket sales and the manufacture of hype, but
Nakamura.
in some cases it actually makes it harder for
Corbin.
rookies to get over with the crowd. I know that NXT keeps back much of its greener talent for house shows where they can't expose their weaknesses too early, but it's hard to argue that with Nakamura, Balor, Zayn, Joe, and Owens knocking around, it made guys like CJ Parker and Paul Dempsey seem even more low rent. Sure, it hasn't stopped guys like Ty Dillinger or Tyler Breeze or Tyson Kidd from rising to the top, but the process wasn't exactly made easier for them. And number 1, Bill DeMott. For a
Bill
while,
DeMott.
Bill DeMott was the head trainer at the Performance Center, and according to claims made from over 10 ex-trainees, he was difficult like a broken Rubik's Cube that keeps shouting homophobic slurs at you. It's difficult. DeMott resigned in 2015 after it was publicly alleged, that word is alleged, that his coaching method included, here comes the list, prepare the fun music, racist remarks, dangerous drills, homophobic remarks, daily telling students to kill themselves, slapping in the head someone with a head injury, ripping the shirt off someone who'd just gone through neck surgery, kicking someone in their medical boot after they had a broken leg, beating trainees with a yardstick, protecting sexual predators, and waving a gun around. DeMott denied all charges, but I mean, goddamn, be a star. You there, do you want to prove you're a wrestling smartass? Then answer me this. Who is the only wrestler to hold tag team gold with Hulk Hogan? The answer was the rated R superstar Edge. Did you get it? I don't care. To test yourself and whatever friends you might have, buy the new What Culture Wrestling trivia game available at shop.whatculture.com.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, go check out What Culture Wrestling. Subscribe to them. They're the original creators of this video. And as always, stay awesome.